योगिनः यस्यान्तं न विदुः सुरासुरगणा देवाय तस्मै नमः देवाय तस्मै नमः ॐ श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः
ॐ नारायणः परो व्यक्तात् अण्डमव्ययसम्भवम् अण्डस्यान्तस्त्विमे लोकाः सप्तद्वीपा च मेदिनी ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्तिः 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 Verse number 47, chapter 2. कर्मण्येवाधिकारस्ते मा फलेषु कदाचन मा कर्मफलहेतुर्भूः मा ते सङ्गोऽस्त्वकर्मणि. We are still in the beginnings of this verse. We have not really looked into the verse itself because I'm giving a extended introduction to Karma Yoga, because the next few verses are going to define Karma Yoga and talk about how to and why to apply it in one's life. So that's what we are doing right now. So picking up where we left off, just a small, small, short, very brief summary. And what does that entail? That entails looking at the fact that there is a difference between karma and karma yoga. Karma is not karma yoga. Karma is action. Karma yoga is the attitude with which the action is performed. This much we have covered. We talked about a lot of things, but the sum total of the discussions thus far amount to this particular conclusion, that Karma Yoga is the attitude with which the actions are performed, not the action itself. Karma Yoga has nothing to do with the action. It has to do with one's attitude. Then if you ask the next question, what kind of an attitude should one have while performing the karma? And a one-word answer is a worshipful attitude. Just a very short summary of everything that we have studied. And then corollary to this fact, a worshipful attitude cannot be developed unless one has forged or is continuing to forge a relationship with that which is the object of the worship, namely Ishvara. So if there is no Ishvara in the picture, which is the one to whom the worship is being directed, then how can I have a worshipful attitude? It is not possible at all. So Ishvara must be necessarily brought into the picture for karma to convert into yoga. This is the second point that we have made. And so for karma to be considered yoga, what has to happen? Ishvara has to come. How will Ishvara come? All life one has been thinking of oneself as the producer of the action and the reaper of the results thereof. And suddenly now the Gita says, bring in Ishvara. How to bring in Ishvara? That is why the attitude, you go back to the attitude, developing the attitude that everything is given. Everything is given. All you have to do is just sit with yourself for 5 minutes, especially with some pet project that you have created and something that you are proud of. Just analyze it. I did it. Okay, how? How did you do it? Oh, I did it with hard work. Oh, did you use your hands? Yeah. Did you create your own hands? No. Who created them? Oh, I don't know. In the womb it was created. Okay, so it's not your own body is not your own creation. So your own body is a gift from Ishvara via the parents who helped. And so that's all it is. And so when your own body is not is not at all here in the equation of self-creation, then what to talk of the mind? No, no, it was my idea, my brain. Who made the brain? Again ask that question. Who made the brain? No, in my whole family, from great grandfather onwards, we've all had good brains. Who made the great grandfather's brains? We have to keep asking like this. And then the entire spoof is out. So even if you say the great grandfather had great brains, you don't even need to go beyond that. You just have to say, okay, so I'm not the cause of my brains because there was such a thing called a great grandfather and such a person called great grandmother, from whom I have inherited these skills, from whom I have inherited the brain, etc., etc., etc. So there is no place to take any credit. All credit for one's actions, for one's accolades become debit as soon as you understand this. There's nothing there. What is there? So this brings in Ishvara. Even if you don't know who Ishvara is, and if you struggle with the spelling of Ishvara, doesn't matter. There is some force other than me. There are, in fact, many forces other than me that have cooperated, that have conspired, that have somehow given me all these things that I am, that I have. This itself is enough. You can say there is some power that is higher than me. Even if one doesn't want to say the word Ishvara, there is some power that has brought about this universe, that has been responsible for this body, this brain, this mind, these talents, whatever it is. So that is something that is what makes karma into yoga, the presence of Ishvara, inviting Ishvara into one's life in this manner. Not that you invite, as you invite a guest, no. But you invite Ishvara in the sense that you are aware of Ishvara's presence in your life in so many ways. Therefore, you cannot claim authorship of anything except of course confusion, which I've already said, and that is your own. And so, but again, with the Ishvara given brain badly used, that's all it is. And so this is the thing. And so if Ishvara is the one that has allowed this thing, allowed this body and given these talents, then where is the authorship of action? So it's one thing to say Ishvara is giving the results of action. That itself is fraught with some confusion. So the Bhagavad Gita will say things in a very concise way, and we have to unpack it. It says, don't be the author of the results of action. How can you desist from being the author of results of action if you think you have performed the action? So the presence of Ishvara is not to be invoked merely as, just as karma phala data, the giver of the results of action. Not only that, the presence of Ishvara has to be invoked as the actor himself, herself. I am the actor. I am, this is the problem. I am the actor is the problem. If you say I am the actor but Ishvara is giving the results of action, it seems like a terrible setup. Who is he or she to give me the results of action when I have acted? Immediately there is a rebellion. There is no karma yoga, there is rebellion. Who is she? Who is he to give me the results of action when I have acted? And there is a disconnect. At least in the heart, there is a disconnect. Why should I perform the action and slog here? And then some big boss is giving the results of action. So, to smooth over this disconnect, to cross over the disconnect, we have to be aware that Ishvara is behind the performance of all actions. Even though I'm thinking I'm performing, Ishvara is the one doing it. This is the first attitude for Karma Yoga. Ishvara is the one doing it. But then here also, one has to exercise some discipline. Otherwise, what? It will be the defense of every serial killer, you know. And I didn't do it, Ishvara did it. Ishvara is responsible. You yourself said in your lecture, Ishvara is responsible. And so, therefore, what? Here again, some discrimination has to be exercised. Ishvara is the one that is the doer of the actions, but I have free will. Ishvara has given me the free will, along with all the other things that are given. Body given, mind given, senses given, talents given, limitations given. Everything is given from the standpoint of this upadhi. Everything is given. And along with all the things that are given, free will is also given. And all the things that are given are non-separate from Ishvara. Between the giver and the given, there is no space. The giver is manifest as the given. The giver is not sitting somewhere dispensing some goodies, like like giving prasad. No, no, not like that. And you are standing in a prasad line and wondering what the other person in front of you got. A bigger laddu or maybe two laddus, and you just got some crumbs because by the time it was your turn, everything was over. Not like that. Between the dispenser and the dispensed, there is no space. No space means what? No space means it's one and the same. The given is, that which is given is non-separate from the giver. It cannot be separate because nothing is separate. And so this itself gives a lot of wonderful understanding. This itself is very, very, very important to understand. This is very, very crucial. So if between the giver and the given there is no space whatsoever, no space between the giver and the given, that means the giver, Ishvara, is in the form of everything that is there. Everything that I have is a manifestation of Ishvara. And here don't leave out the free will. Free will means what? That is also given by Ishvara. But then free will means that I have to make choices. That whether I want it or not, I do make choices. That is what the free will is all about. Free will means I have to make choices. Oh, I'm not going to make any choice. If I stand like this, that itself is a choice. That itself is a choice. And so, therefore, in the exercising of the choice, there can be two possibilities, generally speaking. Two possibilities in the exercising of the choices. One possibility is that the exercising of my choices in any given situation is in accordance with the norms that are provided by Ishvara, nay, the norms that are another universal manifestation of Ishvara called dharma. Or the choices can stray away from dharma. Only two choices. How the karma is performed. How do I exercise my choices? I can exercise my choices to be in right relationship and in tandem with Ishvara at all times, or I can exercise my choices based on another set of criteria. And what are they called? My own raga and my own dvesha. My own strong preferences and strong prejudices. That becomes a normative criteria for exercising the choices until and unless one is introduced to the Bhagavad Gita. That becomes the norm. That becomes the that becomes the that becomes the way in which most people, until they set themselves on a path of until they set themselves on a path of spiritual growth, this is how they exercise. Until they make that choice, this is how they exercise their choices for the most part. So I exercise my choices in the absence of norms, based on convenience, based on the force of my desires, based on getting something that I really want, keeping at bay what I really do not want, and based on competition, based on this is what it is. So that which makes karma into karma yoga is the ability to exercise my free will based on the norms, which are again a manifestation of Ishvara. When I do not do that, I'm pitting one aspect of Ishvara against another manifestation of Ishvara. I'm pitting one manifestation against the other, because free will is a manifestation of Ishvara. And then raga dveshas are also a manifestation of Ishvara. The preferences, prejudices, whatever there are in the heart, that is also a manifestation of Ishvara. The norms, dharma, is also a manifestation of Ishvara. Then what are you going to do? When you decide to go along with your likes and dislikes to the detriment, to the downfall of dharma, that is when you have, in so to speak, as though gone away from Ishvara, veered away from Ishvara. Because the raga dveshas are also a manifestation of Ishvara, yes, but the ability to manage the raga dveshas are also given. To quote the Bhagavad Gita, Sarvesham buddhau raga dveshau vyavasthitau. In every single buddhi, cow buddhi, dog buddhi, cat buddhi, human buddhi, raga and dvesha is already arranged. Every buddhi will have raga dvesha. But then the fine print is what is important. Tayoho ragadveshayoho vasham na agachet. Do not come under the spell. That is also given. The ability to not come under their spell is given. And if you don't exercise that muscle, then, and you cannot blame Ishvara, and you cannot say, oh, I'm acting according to raga dveshas because Ishvara has given the raga dveshas. Nice try, but it doesn't work. Very nice try. A wonderful, what is it called? Cop out. It's a lovely cop out. And so this is, so therefore, the excuse that Ishvara made me do this, or Ishvara is doing this, to make an excuse for your own sloppiness, your own what is that, lack of the ability to follow dharma, your own lack of the ability to take responsibility for your action. This is a very, very lazy excuse. Ishvara has other ideas. Why? Because I forgot to cook. This is this is nothing to do with Ishvara. You tell the family members, I forgot to cook. So Ishvara must want us to go out for dinner. This is a cop out. This is not taking responsibility. This is not taking responsibility for your actions. Your actions matter. And everything matters, because the Shastra reveals that you are not just a creature. This is the only tradition where human beings and all other all other animals, etc., birds, animals, are not called creatures. Co-creators, yes, but not creatures. Ishvara did not create the jiva. Why? Jiva is Ishvara with a twist. Yeah, Jiva plus Ragadveshas, completely unbound. Ragadveshas which do not follow Ishvara in the form of the norms called dharma, do not follow dharma, which is again Ishvara. That is what is the Jiva. Jiva is Ishvara plus the self-ignorance, which is why one gives in to the ragadveshas with such alacrity and with such stubbornness. So you cannot blame Ishvara for the condition you're in because you have made those choices. If you have dug a pit and then you fall into it, then you cannot say, oh, Ishvara is there. Pit is also Ishvara. That is what it is. And so, what makes karma into yoga is the ability and the desire to at all times be in right relationship with oneself and with the giver of the universe, who has also given, along with the free will, who has also given the laws to follow so that one doesn't get into trouble with the law, with oneself, in the form of guilt, hurt, regret, and with others. This is exactly what the thing is. And so, therefore, the extent to which one is able to follow dharma is the extent to which one can be called a karma yogi. And again, many people, say, and this is some kind of a, what is it called? Authority issue problem. Many people say, if I'm dharmic, then I'm a karma yogi. Why bring in Ishvara? This is again half of the problem, because this is a this is not a karma yogi. Because when you don't understand dharma as a manifestation of Ishvara, karma cannot be converted into yoga. That which makes it yoga is the understanding that this dharma is never away from Ishvara. Following dharma means I'm one with Ishvara in my day-to-day life. And in the day-to-day life, as we have seen in another context in this very class, there are 5 kinds of karmas that are generally performed. Day-to-day karmas, nitya karmas. And since we have discussed this before, I'm going to go a little faster on this. Nitya karmas, things that have to be done every day, such as brushing the teeth, etc. And each of these karmas are further divided into laukika and vaidika. Laukika karma, day-to-day karma. Vaidika karma, sacred actions. Although this is an arbitrary distinction, because the whole idea is to discover that every action is sacred. That is what is karma yoga. But we can provisionally take this. So nitya karma, everyday karma like brushing the teeth or attending to the altar that is there, both of those are examples of things that have to be done every day. Naimittika karma, occasional karmas, like celebrating birthday. This is one example. Celebrating birthday or celebrating festivals such as Deepavali, which is going to come next week. So like this, these are all occasional karmas. Shraddha, like funerary rites, etc. And then the yearly remembrances of the Pitrus, the mains, the ancestors. That is all occasionally. It is not done every day. It comes once a year. Then Nitya Karma, Naimittika Karma, this we do. Then there is the third category of karma, which is that, what is that called?
Prashita karma.
That is the fourth one. Third category of karma?
Nishidha karma.
Nishiddha karma.
Nishidha karma.
That is the fifth one. And the order is important. 4 and 5 we have listed. And the most important one is number 3, kamya karma. Yeah, this must. Yeah, this is the one that one must not forget. This is the one that is the most important. Kamya karma, things that I do because I want to do them. Raga dvesha fulfilling karmas are called kamya karma. Kama searching karmas, kama pursuing karmas are called kamya karma. I want a better car. Okay. But it is not in my karma. So I do a ritual to get a better car, to get a better life, to get a better spouse, to get a better house. Like this, there is never ending. Never ending. So the third one is kamya karma. And the kamya karma is where one has to exercise caution. Why? Because even though you follow dharma while pursuing kamya karma, you say, okay, I'm pursuing kamya karma with dharma. I'm being a dharmic person. I'm not stopping the people from, I'm not stopping anybody in their tracks and then cutting their chances. I'm a fair player. I'm playing the game fairly and squarely. Even though you may say that, but still, Kamya Karma is a dynamite. It can go off any second and then it can make you flout Dharma. The force of the Kamas can make one flout Dharma. But provisionally, they are listed as the third kind of karma because the possibility is there that one can indeed follow dharma and follow kamya karma at the same time. Dharmically, one can fulfill one's desires. How? Through prayer, through compassion, through dharma. One can do that. And so therefore, it is listed. Then, of course, while I perform kamya karma, sometimes the kamas overpower, leading me to a place of pain, sorrow, etc. Regrets, omissions, and commissions, my own omissions and commissions, other people's omissions and commissions towards me. But here, my own omissions and commissions, one's own omissions and commissions are talked about. And what is that called? And to overcome that, we have atonement karma. Nishiddha karmas. Sorry, prayashchitta karma. Prayashchitta karma means atonement karma. In fact, there is a whole, what is that? Whole atonement, 18 verses called Shiva Aparadha Kshamapana Stotram. Very nice, wonderful, wonderful thing. You can listen to that. It is there somewhere. Maybe on YouTube it is already there. You can see. So the verses of atonement, very, very powerful. And so the thing is this, that this atonement is needed. Atonement is needed. Why? Atonement is needed because I am flouting dharma by nature. Why? Because I'm not cautious. And the raga dveshas overpower and make me go away from dharma. Therefore, this atonement is there. And then there is, of course, nishiddha karma, things which must never ever be done. That you can take as the fourth one and atonement as the fifth one, because karma that is never ever done is sometimes done. Never ever should be done, but is sometimes done because of the force of habitual orientations, because of the force of the desire. And so there is a way to make up for that. You can fast for a day. You can offer some alms to people who are in need, or you can, give some money to charity. So in order to absolve oneself of the effects of nishiddha karma. So then, that is all part of prayashchitta karma. Nishiddha karma means that which one is keeping on doing, even though one should not be, things which should never be done. So then this is generally the kinds of karmas that are prescribed or that are there in a person's life, in a person who is following the Vedic life. However, there are, for a karma yogi, the third category of karma, what is that?
Kamya karma.
Kamya karma must be crossed out. You put the words kamya karma and draw a circle around it and a slash. Cut it out. For a karma yogi, kamya karma slowly disappears. Why? Because On the practical level, there is no time. One is so busy following dharma. That takes up all the time. It's not easy to follow dharma. And then one is so busy following dharma and doing what one is supposed to do and desisting from what is one not supposed to do, that there is no time to pursue what one wants to do. In fact, what one wants to do doesn't matter at all. It's totally inconsequential. Ayo, this is like taking sannyasa. Yes, it is like taking sannyasa. You dress the heart in orange. And when you dress the heart in orange, raga dveshas look longingly from a distance. They don't enter the heart. Every day you can visualize that you in front of the mirror that you are a sannyasi and dress the heart in orange. And say, you two troublemakers, these two toddlers, raga dvesha, troublemakers. Like what is that? Like bad dogs. They don't follow commands. They don't sit when they are told. Very bad dogs. And so why are they dogs? Because they are dogged in trying to convert you from a yogi, karma yogi, to a karmi. They're pulling at your dress. They want you to come over to the to the to the bad side. To the adharma side. And when the heart is dressed in orange, there is resolve, there is calmness. And you think of yourself, yes, I'm a sannyasi. That's why I'm giving this up. Then it becomes easier to give it up. I'm sannyasi, I'm a sannyasi. You tell yourself that every single day. Whether or not you want to take sannyasa or not doesn't matter here. You tell yourself that, and actually, it's a blessing because when you tell yourself, I am a sannyasi, then you feel good. Because you feel good because who doesn't want to be that? Who doesn't want to be someone who is free of ragadveshas? Oh, but I'm not free of ragadveshas. Essentially, you are. Essentially, you are. That is the Swarupa. If you are not free of ragadveshas, then I have to close shop because then I have no business in trying to remove the ragadveshas if they are here to stay. But they're not here to stay. The Atma is Nitya Shuddha Buddha Mukta Atma. It is Nitya. It is forever free of ragadveshas. Atma means you. Atma means I, but since I'm talking to you, it is you have to take it as I and meaning you. And so therefore, the Atma is I am already free of ragadveshas. Therefore, I am a sannyasi. And you too stay away from me. This is exactly why Karma Yoga is misunderstood, because to look at it deeply and to understand it fully is very difficult, because you cannot do that without undergoing or setting in motion a certain kind of a self growth. And Karma Yoga is completely for self growth. Because out of the five karmas, the one that was recently forgotten is the problem. That is the most problematic one. Nitya karma doesn't do anything to you. Following it, no, is not going to land you into trouble. Prayashchitta karma better follow, because who knows what all one has done in so many lifetimes. Prayashchitta karma one follows, Nitya karma, Naimittika karma, all these things. All that doesn't matter. And Nishiddha karma one refrains from, very good. But then the main thing is Kamya karma. That is the troublemaker. But it's listed. Yes, just because it is listed doesn't mean you can have it. You go to a restaurant, there is something listed on the menu. It is listed. But as soon as you eat it, you break into hives. Are you still going to order it? No. Exactly. It is listed. Oh, but it is there on the menu. It is there on the menu, but it is not for you. Oh. But then who is it for? for ignoramuses. Okay, do you feel better now? Yeah, all right. That's all. This is for ignoramuses, fools, mudhas, murkhas, people who don't have people who have zero viveka. For them it is listed, so that they can keep on scratching themselves when they break into hives. They can run to the pharmacy, drama, and they can, or if it is a very bad case of anaphylactic shock, they can go to the emergency room and be on some antihistamine drip, and then get well, come back, and then go into the next restaurant and order that very thing to which they are allergic. They can create this drama, life after life after life, because there is, there is not that discrimination is not there. The first, the first requirement, I would say, one of the most important requirements of converting karma into karma yoga is to give up the penchant for drama. You remove the D, that's enough. And what is remaining? Only Rama. Rama means Ramante Yasmin Yoginaha, that in which the yogis revel, which is Atma Rama, that which is the Atma. That's all it is. So the focus from the external to the internal is achieved just by giving up the penchant for drama. Why is there the penchant to create drama every single day, every single moment? Because one wants to feel quote unquote alive. So why should I feel alive? How come I don't feel alive? Because I'm not in right relationship with Bhagavan. I'm not in right relationship with my actions. I'm not in right relationship with the receipt of the results. That is why I feel like I'm in a rut. And if I'm in a rut, everything is boring. I don't want to do what I have to do. And if I don't want to do what I have to do, then of course I end up doing what I should not be doing. And then that is again another problem. And so therefore I am bored. I am lackadaisical. I am aloof. I'm apathetic. I'm depressed with regard to my own action. Therefore, I want to spice up the life. Let's see what I can do. Create some drama. Oh, but that has made you go into the hospital. Doesn't matter. Either I send somebody to the hospital or I myself go to the hospital. Doesn't matter. I just want there to be some way in which I can feel myself, because I'm so alienated from who I am. And this is a very, very sad way of removing alienation. Create some drama. How long will the drama last? Not very long. And after that, one is back to the same old daily grind. Grinding in being ground, actually. Ground by the daily grind. And that is why the Karma Yoga means getting rid of that penchant of creating some drama all the time. And there are people like that who we all know. They cannot stand to have 5 minutes of shanti before they will say something controversial or do something dramatic, in order to bring the attention of themselves back to themselves. It's not that they are attention hogs, it's just that they cannot stop themselves from creating drama in order to have some connection with the I. But how does the drama bring about the connection with the I? Relatively speaking, with the body mind sense complex. Something you drop, somehow you hurt yourself, somehow you exercise wrong choices again and again and land in a terrible situation. And at that time, you can feel your body, you can feel your mind. Perhaps you laugh, perhaps you cry, and then and you are in touch with your emotions. You're in touch with the body, you're in touch with the mind. At what a what a costly way to be in touch with oneself. So the penchant for creating drama, when it goes, all that is there is the acknowledgement that all that is here is Rama, all that is here is Ishvara. And so the cutting out of kamya karma from this gamut of karma that is there is very, very key, is extremely very important key to growing into a karma yogi. Karma yoga is something that one grows into. It is a stark choice between karma and karma yoga, and what makes that leap easy to cross that bridge from karma to karma yoga is cutting out kamya karma as a possibility. Oh, but then life will be so boring. I can't do anything that I want. I can't not do anything that I don't want. Exactly. But then life will be very boring. And I can't even create. I'm not even allowed to create some drama. Then I might as well just stop living. What is the point? The point is to not rely on objects, events, people, situations in order to feel joy. That is the idea. So when that door is barricaded, that I'm not eking out, I'm not milking the people, I'm not milking the situations, I'm not milking the objects or anything in the jagat for that matter, including one's own body, mind, sense complex, in order to create joy. That means what? There is room finally to discover the joy that I already am. And that joy expresses itself in growing to be the one who loves what is to be done. I am the one who loves what is to be done. This is a very nice affirmation to write. I am the one that loves what is to be done. Oh, but I am not. Okay, I am growing to be the one that loves what is to be done. You can put it in present continuous. I am discovering myself as the one that loves whatever is to be done. And that means that whatever is to be done is Ishvara. How is that Ishvara? Ishvara manifests as Swadharma. I already told you Dharma is Ishvara. Swadharma, what I have to do in this particular iteration of my life, that is Ishvara. That is Ishvara. And that has to be accepted. Many times one is fighting against what one has to do, causing oneself great sorrow. And that is why Bhagavan says in the Bhagavad Gita, Swadharme nidhanam shreyah paradharmo bhayavahah. And this is wrongly translated. It is wrongly translated as your own religion. To die following your own religion is the best course, and following somebody else's religion is terrible, is terrifying. That is not the translation. Swadharma. The word swa is forgotten in this translation. It has nothing to do with religion. It has to do with what is it that I am here meant to do, and what is it that I'm not supposed to be doing. Like, for example, many things may be open to many people, but they are not open to me because of certain choices I have exercised in my life, or because of how I have been born, or what I am. This choice is not open to me. The sooner that one recognizes it, the better. It is said, there is a story that it's a true story. There was a Swami in the 70s and 80s who was a very, very famous, popular Swami in North India, Swami Akhandanandaji. And to him approached two different people. One person was both of them young men. One of them was employed, and then he came to say, I have got a job now and I'm relocating to this particular city. Do you think it's a good idea for me to get married? And the Swami was ecstatic, showered him with sweets, and said, "Yes, please go, my son, get married and bring your bride to meet me." And he was just so jovial. Then another fellow came, unemployed, unemployable also, okay, full of conflict, full of no qualifications, so, lazy, no, not enterprising, nothing. And he witnessed this first encounter, so he too thought he'll get a little bit of love from the Swamiji. And then he went and he said, "So is it a good idea, shall I also go get married?" And the Swami said, "Don't make me throw something at you. You are not ready to, you absolutely not, you do not have my blessings to get married." And then he said, "Oh, why this partiality? Marriage is open to him, but not to me." Exactly. Marriage means, that's why it is called vivaha. Each person, vaha, means to carry, you have to carry out certain responsibilities. It's not that you marry somebody who is working and then you can just coast along. No, you have certain responsibilities. And the Swami could see that this person was not only did not take care of his responsibilities, but was not willing to even make the effort to find the job, etc. And so marriage is, marriage is general. It's a general possibility, but then it is not for some people. Like for somebody who has taken, brahmacharya diksha, and then you say, "Okay, now I'm going to get married." That's not a possibility, because you have yourself put a stop there for reasons of what is that? For reasons of spiritual growth. You have, just like I'm saying, cut out kamya karma. Some people have cut out this possibility of leading a married life, and because they want to focus on the knowledge. Then afterwards, if you say, "Oh, how come I can't get married?" Because you yourself chose. This is what it is. So this following of one's own duties, even badly done, Bhagavad Gita says the same thing in a different context. Badly performed swadharma is better than looking in somebody else's plate and saying, "How come they can have that and I can't?" Well, because your stomach in this lifetime cannot digest gluten. Simple. That's why you can't have what they have. Simple. This is what it is. Bhagavan made. But then the word swadharma causes confusion and anxiety for everybody. Why? Because everybody wants to be told what to do, even though that's just for namesake. If you start really telling people what to do, they don't want to be told what to do. But generally speaking, they're looking for some guidance. Tell me what to do. That is not Swadharma. Swadharma means it's the discovery of what is it that I have to do. And then usually when Swadharma is discussed, there is anxiety surrounding Swadharma, because people tend to think of Swadharma as some big thing to be achieved in this life. And even therefore, the 50-year-old in America will talk like this: "When I grow up, I want to do this." Arey, you're already grown up. And in ancient India, you would have been a grandfather by now. But still, this is how people talk. When I grow up, even though when one is 50 years old, half the life is over, but they still feel like they have to achieve something big. And that is Swadharma. I have to get a Nobel Prize in physics, which is not easy, okay? And then, or Nobel Prize in anything, it's not easy. I have to get a Nobel Prize in physics, in this, in that, in order to fulfill my Swadharma. This is some kind of a spiritual romanticism. And as Milton, said in Paradise Lost, what was the last line? Very beautiful. "They also serve who only stand and wait." Very beautiful line. I really, really like it, because it makes one come down from this hobby horse of understanding, of the misunderstanding of Swadharma as something big that has to be achieved. I have to do this, I have to be the best in my field. This is all your raga dveshas masquerading as Swadharma. It is not Swadharma at all. Swadharma means living up to the situation in any given circumstances. Anything. That's what it is. And Swadharma is very, very clear. Are you a parent? Yes. Are you a spouse? Yes. Okay. There are certain duties associated with these two roles of being a spouse and a parent. Take care of your children. Don't outsource them to the society or to somebody else. Take care of your children. Grow them up to be good citizens in the future. That is your swadharma. Oh, but I have to go to work in order to do that. That is also another swadharma. And that area of work will be in an area where you have some capacities, some capabilities. That is your swadharma. And above all, Swadharma means Swadhyaya. That is also Swadharma. Swadhyaya means the study of the Upanishads. The study of the Upanishads is your Swadharma. Swadhyaya Adhyetavya. Everybody should study their own Veda thoroughly. So Shravanam is Swadharma. Taking care of the children is Swadharma. You cannot say, I'm not attending class because I have to take care of children. Both are Swadharma. It's like saying I'm cooking, but I don't have I can either cook or eat. Tell me what you want me to do. It doesn't work that way. Both are important. And so therefore, this Swadharma is, to discover Swadharma as something which is there. It's not that I have to do some big shenanigan of producing something. I don't have to be like some kind of a huge, so some kind of a award winner in some kind of a competition. That is not what we are. I mean, it could be Swadharma, but that's not what we are talking about. Swadharma is that which is expressed in the day to day. Every single day, I make choices based on dharma and based on what is it that I am meant to do. This is Swadharma. My Swadharma is decided based on what I have to do, A, and then what is the general Samanya Dharma. What I have to do is interpreted within the larger rubric of the universal Dharma. Very, very important. And so this Swadharma, it need not create anxiety because what I don't look around to see what the other person is doing. Pujya Swamiji used to have a wonderful metaphor to describe Swadharma. He would say that in a machine, there are many, many components. There is the piston that keeps going like this. Any kind of a machine. Its job is to move. Correct? And then the various parts of this moving apparatus in the machine is kept stable by certain nuts and bolts. Supposing a nut, looking at the piston, says, oh, that piston is moving back and forth like this, and I'm just staying in place. I'm not doing anything, I'm just sitting tightly. I also am going to move. Let's say it starts to move anti-clockwise because it does one round and it likes the feeling. Oh, nice. That's why it's called a nut, okay? Because it is a nut. It's a nutty behavior. That's why it's called nut. It has to sit tight. That is its job. That's why I like that line. They also serve who only stand and, maybe they are doorkeepers. The Dwarapalaka, doorkeepers. Doorkeepers means the sentry. The sentry should not look at someone else and says, okay, I'm also going to bring coffee to the king. And when he goes to bring coffee to the king, someone makes off with the king himself or the palace jewels or abducts the princess, whatever it is. So the sentry must be doing what the sentry is. The sentry likes the coffee wala, and then the coffee will lead to his job. He'll have to, the job will become offy. That's all. He'll have to say goodbye to the job. And so, therefore, sometimes just standing in place, sometimes saying nothing. Sometimes one thinks one is not doing anything, but that doing nothing is also important. It's very, very important. Especially as a Swami, doing nothing is extremely important. The doing nothing is an art. It's just very, very important. And that there is great growth there in doing nothing, because that doing nothing is backed by the knowledge that everything is already being done. Very, very important. So the Swadharma is first to be discovered, and then you have to walk in it, even if it pinches, like a new pair of footwear. When you wear new shoes, it will pinch. It will cause perhaps a few blisters on the feet. And then what do? You don't throw away the shoe because it fits. Exactly. So the Bhagavan given pair of shoes for you to walk into in this life always fits. But then why am I getting blisters? You're getting blisters because you have refused to wear it for all this time. You're skipping on saying, when I grow up, I'll put it on. No, this is the time to put it on. You've refused to wear it in. The shoes have to be worn in, and then they are comfortable. So when the shoe bites, you don't throw it away. What do? You put your feet in cold water and then you nurse the blisters, you put some band-aid, and then you put on the shoe again and you walk short legs. You both practice walking inside the house or in the courtyard, little bit in your yard, and then you just take a few steps every day. And before you know it, the shoe becomes you, pun intended. The shoe becomes you, as in suits you. The shoe becomes you, as in it is, it is non-separate from you. Then you don't want to take it off. You wear it, in the example, you don't want to take a well fitting pair of shoes off. Let's say you wear it for 10 years, you patch it up, you make a trip to India just to get it repaired, because there are people who repair on the roadside. And and then you get it reshod and you resold, etc. And then what? Then finally the time to give up the shoe comes. And then you want to find the same kind of shoe, but they have stopped making it. This is what it is in the example. But but in that which is exemplified, if the shoe is Swadharma, it never wears out. You can always wear it. And the shoe becomes an ornament, it becomes an alankara to your life. The shoe becomes an ornament because it shows you how you are walking, how you are learning to walk, how you are walking without stumbling, how you can stand straight and walk very, very gracefully in the God-given pair of shoes. Most of the time, the shoes are kept in the cupboard and not even looked at. And then what is the person doing? The person does need some footwear, keeps on shoe shopping. So the karmi is shoe shopping. The karma yogi is wearing the shoes that are supposed to be worn. Bhagavan given shoes. So if they are kept in a chest somewhere, if they are kept in a cupboard somewhere, at least take them out and look at them. You don't have to put them on yet. Just look at them and familiarize yourself with the buttons, with the buckles, with the straps, with the sole. And then just wear them and take a photograph. That's enough. Take a little photograph of the feet wearing them. You may not like them. You may say, oh, these are too big for me. What if they don't fit? What if they do this? Oh, it doesn't look nice on my feet. It's the wrong color combination. It's the wrong design. I don't like it. Your don't like doesn't come into the picture. These are the shoes that you were born with. These are the shoes that have been given to you by Bhagavan to walk in this life. Take them out. Dust them. Just put them on. See what it is like. For how long I should do this? only until next class, next week. Okay? All right. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadagya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Thank you.